How Matt Burke plans to help feed hungry veterans. Straight ahead. Matt Burke played his high school football here. He's also a Super Bowl champion. And this week, he is trying to use his profile and business to feed our veterans. It is Super Bowl week, and for Matt Burke, that brings back memories of winning it all as a member of the Baltimore Ravens.
The confetti comes down, the trophy presentation, but then, you know, people slowly start to leave.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of quiet, and then it's kind of like, what now?
On this day, it feels like a Super Bowl. Nachos are about to be consumed. No, this is what I think of when I think of Super Bowl Sunday. Sitting with us is Wayne Kostrowski, the man who, for 27 years, spent Super Bowl week leading Taste of the NFL, a program to help feed the hungry.
I can't even begin to imagine if my kid looked at me and said, I'm hungry, and I didn't have an answer to them.
Matt grew up in St. Paul, the product of Cretin-Derham Hall High School. And on Super Bowl week, he is reminded of food and more.
Seems like a good time to pause just for a minute and recognize that, you know, we're afforded these opportunities, these luxuries because of the sacrifices of a lot of those people that came before us. But I've always just had an affinity for veterans. My dad's a veteran.
Which brings us here to Heritage Gear, his business.
Well, there's Vikings fans out there, right? So see, that's the hers. This is the his.
Sure, that's just going to the gym, right?
But honestly, I mean, these will last. They'll last a lifetime.
The bags they sell the first 2 weeks of February will produce proceeds to veterans who are food insecure.
Maybe I'd call them the corporal works of mercy, but maybe these simple things, if we feed hungry people, if we clothe the naked, if we house the homeless, if we care for the sick, if we do basic things like that, maybe that can help change or maybe even save the world.
It started physical. Started as physical pain for sure. Started getting injections. You name it, I went through it.
James Kelly is a veteran who started with a pain medication, and it led to food decisions.
Because there were times where I would find myself, you know, having to decide between, am I gonna, you know, buy my pain medication so that I'm not sick, or am I gonna eat?
He found employment and companionship by taking a job at Every Third Saturday, a place for veterans to come to seek counsel and employment and sometimes food. On this day, Burke stops by to give a pep talk because the needs in this arena are very real.
Working down at the counter, I get to see almost every day, I'd say, you know, insecurity, food insecurity with veterans. And it's heartbreaking.
Because the problem is one that Kostrowski is so familiar with, he offers perspective.
And to know that military families are the statistic 2 years ago was 1 in 8 military families. Now it's 1 in 6. So we're going the wrong direction.
Selling these items is also a metaphor for what can be done. And what is more important than Matt Burke's Super Bowl ring?
It's just ridiculous that anybody in America is hungry. And the fact that 1 in 6 military veterans, people who literally signed on the dotted line and said, I'll risk my life to defend this country, 1 in 6 military veterans and their families don't have enough food to eat. That's just not acceptable.
And that is what a one-time food-deprived veteran understands, that there is an issue that needs all of us.
Like during Christmas, we had, I think it was chicken Alfredo, you know, and when I see these veterans come in and they're just so excited, you know. It feels great to be able to provide that, you know. But it's, how can we do more?
Yeah, I think we all ask that question. It ends on February 14th. The proceeds going directly to veterans.